the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Racing Network and our live coverage of the PRO Sidewinder Dirt Racing Series. Drivers on the track with a little warm-up. Williams Grove this evening for you, 360 wing sprint car. Getting down to the end of this one, about 5 races left to go in the season, including tonight. Points battle starting to tighten up. Last couple of weeks here, we'll show you how the points look as we get to the 2 championships for the Big Block Modified and for these 360 sprint cars. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Guys, say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. A limited field of cars. Guess some guys scared of this big old track. I find it rather entertaining to watch races here and to race on. So see how the guys do tonight. all the old familiar faces. They're getting ready to go down for their drivers' meeting. We're to get ready to go down trackside for opening ceremonies. So we'll let Public Address take this away.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, big thank you to the Foley Boys for the national anthem and invocation. Drivers on track already in qualifying. Watching Mr. Nick Chambrone here. And Deadhead, is it Taberg or Taberg? Because I claim to be a very intelligent person, but I do not know how to pronounce every city in America. So I was just curious. Right now, Nick Chambrone, top of the chart. Gabe Gladfelter, and I was just getting ready to say, we're going to see if tonight's the night that Gladfelter breaks through. And he jumped to the top and then immediately gets pushed down by Gerlach, Cohan, and Mustard. Gerlach, 18.185. 237.248 for Cohan and Mustard. 267 for Gladfelter. Only car still on track. 97 machine of Aaron Beaver. Everyone else is taking time. Aaron Beaver just now getting on to the clock. We'll see what that 97 car can put down. Taberg. Okay. I learn something new every day. That I will admit to. 19.056. A pretty good tick off the pace. About a full tenth. Or a full second, a full second off the pace for Beaver. Let's see if Beaver can pick it up here on lap number 2. 19.056 for the first lap. And 18.733. So he will move up to 12th on the list. That should do a couple of heat races. And then to our feature. 30 laps for the feature tonight. Like I said, these guys deep into the season. They got about this race and about 4 more to go. They will be done wrapping up around the end of June. 45 minutes from Syracuse. All right. So you get to see some good racing up in that neck of the woods. A lot of big block racing up there, isn't there? Big block modifieds. John Borst jumps up to position number 3 there at the very end of qualifying. So we'll see Mr. Borst here starting 3rd in this one. Let's get around to our front stretch.
All right. Congratulations to Garlic.
Okay, so they are talking crazy to each other in the chat. And let's run it through the CJ Auto21.com starting lineup. On the pole, the A-Treat Yoko's Peeps. Dizzy Motorsports number 01 out of Nazareth, Pennsylvania, Nick Chambrone. Known as outside the TMJ Racing number 3 from Waverly, Ohio, Terry Mustard. Your second row on the inside, the 86, the aforementioned John Borst, and on his outside, the AlwaysRaceDay.com Netcode Esports, number 71 of Josh Gerlach from Bondurant, Iowa. Row 3, Casey Miller. Inside the 05 car, on the outside, the 69 of Adam Jersky. And on the back row by himself, the BAR Transport, number 63 out of Muskegon, Michigan, Bill Coy. Yeah, I thought so, Deadhead. We kind of keep an eye. I have friends in New York. In fact, one of our big sponsors for the league and for the Dirt Racing Network is out of New York, and he tells us about the racing up there. And Matt kind of fills us in on who's racing what where. He's a sprint car guy, but he knows who's racing what where up in New York, and he says that there's a lot of big block stuff up further north you go. So be pretty cool to get up there and check it out sometime. Not a bucket list item for me, but something that I would have a good time doing, I'm sure. All right, one more time around. Green out of turn number 4. Chambrone and Mustard for heat number 1. That's a name that I am familiar with. All right, they'll let the pace truck jump away from him just a little bit. And Mustard's car now, the 0 car. He had been running 3 for a while, and I know he runs 03 as his official number in the league. So he's got the 0 on that all-black machine tonight. Chambrone off the pole. On the throttle, green flag in the air. Heat race number 1 underway. Drop back of Chambrone has command out of 2. Take a look at Borst. Borst started 3rd, now back to 5th already. Mustard jumped into 2nd. Gerlach, the 71 car, trying to take that away, sits in 3rd. Got a good run there. I think Mustard got the car a little sideways, found a little bit of a slick spot in turns 1 and 2. Casey Miller, always fast, the 05 car, especially when we're in the big blocks. He is super quick. He is up here to 4th place. Borst is 5th. Jersky running 6th, and Bill Coy a distant 7th right now. But it's all Chambrone. He is keeping that thing locked in the middle of the track around the turns. And he's starting to stretch away from Mustard. Mustard's going to still have that battle with Gerlach, but I think Gerlach's just getting better runs down the straightaways. When he gets into the corner, Mustard is driving in a little bit further. Now has the preferred line out of 4 laps to go. Miller trying to get in here and make it a 3-way battle for 2nd. Three to go this time. Still nose to tail for 2nd and 3rd. Hello, Mr. Nichols. Hey, Derek Layton, I see you up there. Should have said hi to you earlier. Good run out of 4, coming to the 2 to go mark. Gerlach just not quite enough oomph to get up there and keep Mustard off the line. Loses some ground down the back stretch. Now white flag in the air. Chambrone's let it since we dropped the green. And it is looking like it is all Chambrone in heat number 1. He's coming to the checkered flag. He'll win it easily. Mustard hangs on to 2nd. Gerlach is 3rd. Casey Miller worked his way up to 4th. John Borst comes home in 5th. Then Jersky and Coy rounding out the field. So, only the 2 heat races. We will head down and run it through the CJAuto21.com starting lineup for heat race number 2. On the pole, the Full Moon Garage number 10 of Robbie Schaefer from Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and on his outside, the 27 car of Anthony DeBarro. Your second row on the inside. We talked about Gladfelter at the outset of the broadcast. We'll see if he can break through here at Williams Grove tonight in the sprint cars. He starts inside row number 2. And on the outside, the CJ Automotive Disney Motorsports number 21 from Nazareth, Pennsylvania of Nick Cohan. Row 3, the 8 car of Thomas George on the outside. Aaron Beaver, we watched him in qualifying. And that will round out the field for heat race number 2. Gladfelter, I think, has won the last 2 big block races, had a really bad time in between in the 360s 2 weeks ago. And when I talked to him last Tuesday night after his win, we talked about what was it going to take for him to break through and maybe get a win before the end of the season. And he said it would take a lot of luck in him to continue practicing in these 360s because he was getting the handle. He just wasn't quite there yet. We'll see if he spent enough time this week working on this track with this car. Maybe tonight's the night the 128 ends up in victory circle. Tiny Dancer, what are you doing, buddy? All right, lights off on the pace truck. We will go green out of 4. Final heat race right here. Everybody transferred to the feature. As soon as these guys are done, I think they'll have a short warm-up session. We'll get right to that 30-lap A main. Schaefer on the throttle. Green flag in the air.
Green, green, green.
Schaefer out in front of DeBarro. Nick Cohan around the top side looking to take over third. Does so from Gladfelter. Almost got into turn 3 a little deep. Had to jump on the binders quickly to stay off the back end of the 27. DeBarro got in, got just a tick sideways. Now Cohan with a good run through the marbles up top. Just not enough to make DeBarro give him the outside line. DeBarro with the slider line on exit, cuts across. Now Cohan had the inside. Couldn't quite get it there. Good try at the slider. Just left enough room. And DeBarro got right back around. We'll see how this looks from DeBarro's perspective. He's got to run here. He's going to go for the slider in 1 and 2. Bring it all the way. I don't think he got there. Chambrone going to power. Guy keeps saying that. That's not Chambrone. It's Cohan. Those two on the same team. Both of them just dizzy, so you have to forgive me for that. Now, Gladfelter used the high side to get around. Bob DeBarro back to the 4 spot right in front of Thomas George as Gladfelter used DeBarro being down on the inside, racing Cohan. Move his way into third. Schaefer got about the same lead in this one that Chambrone had in the last one. 2 to go the next time by. Cohan trying everything he can to run him down. Just not enough grip. Not enough forward momentum to close the gap. Schaefer pretty much running the perfect line right now for the track conditions out here. Right below the loose stuff. Right where it's packed in. Gladfelter reeling in Cohan. Just think he's going to run out of time because the white flag is coming out right here. Unless Cohan makes a big mistake. I don't really see that happening. He's in too secure a spot right now. He knows if he finishes second, he's starting close to the front in the feature. Whoa, maybe went for the slider. Couldn't get it there. Got close. Schaefer wins heat 2. Then Cohan, Gladfelter, DeBarro, George, and Aaron Beaver rounding it out. So heat racing action over. See how long to give these guys to come out and work the track in just a little bit more. We'll let them have their warm-up. While we do that, let's pay a couple bills. thank you to all of the sponsors for the Dirt Racing Network. Allow us to keep doing what we're doing each night. In the office, I thought you were running officials. We know you're sitting there listening to your buddy Elton John. We got it. We understand. All right, a couple more minutes of practice for these guys. Got the camera on Mr. Glatfelter. Ooh, that looked like Beaver's car. Had a little problem there. Nick Cohan out on track. Pretty significant announcement coming next week. Little no spoiler alert here. I'm going to try not to spoil it, but something very cool the Dirt Racing Network is doing. We'll have some photographs up over the weekend. Let everybody see what we've been up to recently. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Dominic Santino back in the booth. Dirt Slingers, Wednesday Night Warriors, Big Block Modified Series. The guys at Kokomo. Tiny little bull ring, and they will be out there with those big high-power, big block cars. And then same bat time, same bat channel for Thursday night, Dirt Slingers. Wicked Energy Gun 410 Outlaws. Okay, Rick, we are gonna see if that happens. See if we can get Terry to go to the front tonight here in the feature. Practice session winding down. About to put these guys out here for 30 green flag laps. Good evening, Amanda. I bet I know who she's here cheering on, by the way. All right, let's get ready to run down the starting lineup for our feature tonight. Gonna be Chambrone on the pole, the 01 car, and on his outside, the number 1 of Robbie Schaefer. Your second row, the aforementioned Terry Mustard Jr. on the inside, Nick Cohan outside, Gerlach inside row 3 with Gladfelter on the outside of that row. The fourth row, Casey Miller inside, Anthony DeBarro outside. Row 5, John Borst and Thomas George side by side. The sixth row, Adam Jersky and Aaron Beaver. And solo on the back tonight, Bill Coy. So both drivers on the front row pretty quick in their heat races, look pretty smooth, but a lot of hungry guys behind. Cohan hasn't won a race this season, neither has Mustard. Podium at Bristol for Terry. It's the last podium that I can recall, and if I'm wrong, I apologize for that, but it's the last one that I recall. Gladfelter with a bunch of wins in the big blocks, but nothing in the sprint cars. And you're going to start outside of row number 3. We talked about maybe tonight could be the night he could break through. We'll see how that pans out. It's good to see people on all of the platforms watching. I see Twitch in here. I see the YouTube family. I see the Facebook group. Thank you guys for tuning in. Speaking up in chat. Appreciate that. All right. Pace truck is in, waiting on that green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
Driver's going to have one lap. I think they're going to be able to select their lane. Going to do us a little 3 wide, are we? Maybe just doing some track selection here, some lane selection for drivers. Going to move Schaefer to the inside, Mustard to the outside of row 1, and then Cohan inside row 2, Chambrone outside that row. We're going green here. Gerlach and Gladfelter, your top 6 at the start. Green flag in the air. And one of the fastest guys in the room tonight, they just gave him the keys to the kingdom to start the thing here. Schaefer said, I'm going to jump out here to a pretty good lead, make you guys run me down. And he's done so. Chambrone, problems out of 2. I think he and Mustard had a little bit of contact, and he bumped the fence, lost about 5 spots right there. Might lose a couple of more here. Mustard settled into second. Now it's a battle side by side between Gladfelter. 3 wide out of 2 with Cohan in the middle. Gerlach was on the bottom. Cohan falls back behind those 2. It's getting pretty tight down here in 3 and 4. These guys getting right on top of one another. There's 5 cars under a blanket, 2nd through 6th. Oh, little cut here, little move there. Gladfelter had to check up for Mustard. Gerlach making a run all the way up to 2nd out of that. When on the inside 3 wide right there, the last lap moved all the way from 4th to 2nd. Mustard trying to use a little light slider there. Not going to work. He's going to lose 2 spots. Gives up to Gerlach. Gives up to Casey Miller. All the while, 3/4 of a second out in front. Robbie Schaefer just hanging on to this thing. Waiting for the pack of hounds to sort themselves out and see who's going to come do the chase. And now Gerlach clear. Here comes Miller. Those 2 starting to run Schaefer down. Now it's down to 4/10. Getting closer. Out of each corner. 1/4 second right there at the line. Gerlach and Miller. Mustard still 4th. Cohan 5th. Gladfelter and DeBarro getting into a battle for 6th and 7th. Back to the front. Gerlach goes to the bottom. Schaefer went through the middle, coming off the outside. Gerlach got the lead at the line. So it took 6 laps. Now Gerlach out in front. Miller went for the slider 1 and 2. No dice. Had to give it back to Schaefer. Schaefer coming at him, trying to get down to the inside, find that grip that Gerlach found. Didn't have it that time. Mustard still in 4th. Gladfelter working the bottom out of 1 and 2. Pulls alongside. Noses ahead down into 3 and 4. Slider line. Oh, nicks the fence, grabs a car back up. New 4th place car. Gabe Gladfelter got around Terry Mustard. Move Mustard to 5th. DeBarro's working the inside on Cohan. Those 2 side by side. Cohan clipped the fence out of 2 a little bit. Gives up the spot, falls to 6. Chambrone, after his early incident, now fighting the car again. He's back to 8. Maybe falling back further. We're going to go to the front. Miller went for the lead in the slider in 1 and 2. Gerlach able to cross it over. Caution free for 11 laps thus far. About to be into lap traffic. On board with Miller. Trying to run the leader down. You see the lap car. Bill Coy on the inside. Slows up. Gives the guy space. About 2/10, maybe a tick over 2/10 of a second. Being maintained by Gerlach. Now, Miller closes in. Miller goes for the lead out of 2. He's got it now. Casey Miller, your new point man. Stretches it out big out of turn 4, all the way up to 0.4 of a second. Gerlach trying to go around the top. Gladfelter into third. Schaefer slipped up and fell back. He's fourth. Cohan is fifth. Mustard sixth. Navarro seventh. Chambrone eighth. George, Borst, Jersky, Beaver, and Bill Coy. Beaver, the next lap car in front of your leader, Casey Miller. Going to be halfway this time by. Car headed for the infield, 69 machine of Jersky. So Jersky will be out of this one, right at the halfway point. Miller, Gerlach around the lap car. Gladfelter trying to close in. If he can get to second, catch a caution, maybe he can do something with Miller. Laps ticking away. Schaefer's still fourth. Cohan's trying to find a way to put pressure on him. Schaefer around the lap car of Beaver. Cohan gets around. Mustard now works the inside into 1 and 2. He goes around the lap car. Casey Miller, 1.8 seconds, gets around Borst to put him a lap down. Make it 1.6 at the line. He lost a little time through 3 and 4, getting around the lap car. Gerlach and Gladfelter now within about 3-4 car lengths of each other. $11 laps to go this time. Drivers spread out all the way around the track. Gladfelter trying to put pressure on. He's going to let Gerlach know he's there. Right in the tire tracks. Cohan, a great distance, a full straightaway behind that battle for second and third, in fourth. Right in front of Mustard, who's back up to fifth. Schaefer battling DeBarro sixth and seventh. Miller 2.2 seconds this time. 9 laps to go. Now Gladfelter makes a move to the inside. He let Gerlach know he's there now. Gerlach, no mistakes, and he might be able to stave him off. Runs through the middle, a little bit of grip there because he extended about 1/4 of a second, half a second almost. Over third place, Gladfelter. Cohan not closing in on that battle. More lap traffic for the leader. Miller on the inside of George, clears him at the start-finish line. 7 laps to go. Clear track for Gerlach. Gerlach. Oh, here comes Gladfelter. Closed it up. Gerlach got in the slick stuff. Couldn't get any bite. Gladfelter come flying into 3 and 4. Almost got into the left rear. Oh, here we go. Gladfelter around the top side. Going to take second away as once again Gerlach found the right rear out in the slick stuff. So Gabe Gladfelter now 3.4 seconds behind with 5 laps to go. If we don't catch a caution, I pretty much think Miller's going to win it. But Gladfelter coming through up to second, and an improvement into the sprint cars. The hard work starting to show. It's starting to pay off here. Miller, middle of the backstretch. Robbie Schaefer, 8th place. The next car on the hit list, and Schaefer not in danger of being lapped as he is out of turn 2. Miller about a half a track behind him. I think Miller's going to have clean track the rest of the way. If he can keep it straight and out of the fence for 2.5 more laps, Casey Miller on his way to picking up a win tonight. 2 to go this time. Gladfelter at 3 seconds has shaved off 0.4 of a second. Just not enough laps left Took him too long to get around Gerlach. White flag, this time for the leader, Casey Miller, out of turn 4. 4 more corners. Got the lead early in this one. Never looked back. Stretched it out 3.1 seconds this time by checkered flag. Casey Miller going to win the PRO Sidewinder Dirt Series 360 Sprint Cars feature at Williams Grove tonight. Gabe Gladfelter, Josh Gerlach rounding out your top 3. Get the top 3 to come around on the front stretch and park them up for us. We'll start dragging them into the chat. All right, let's find Mr. Gerlach. There's Casey Miller. We're waiting for Gabe, so let's get started here. Josh Gerlach, you got a copy?
I do. How you doing, Roger?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Heck of a run out there tonight. You guys went flag to flag, and a 71 car. You had a couple of battles there, but you ended up bringing it home third, man. Talk to us about the feature.
Yeah, it was great. The track was perfect. Casey was in his own zip code tonight, but yeah, it was fun. Got to lead some, got to battle with Casey for a little bit, and man, I felt like Gabe and I were just all over each other there for a little bit, and then just started to go away from me there at the end. But yeah, all in all, it was a great race.
Yeah, it looked like you and Gabe were going to battle all the way to the end there, and then a mistake on your part, getting the right rear up into the slick too much in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was kind of fiddling with the wing a little bit. It felt like it was starting to want to slide a little bit too much. And Gabe had showed me his nose a couple times, and with everybody around the bottom, I kind of threw some stuff up in the middle, and that helped me a lot for a couple laps. But something felt weird for one of the turns, and it let him get by me, and then he was kind of gone at that point. But yeah, it was still a blast. You get to race all these guys, and they're going to race you clean. That's the most important part.
Well, fantastic run tonight. I'm sure you got plenty of people you'd like to thank for your hot rod this evening.
I do. First off, got to have CJ Automotive on the car. It's in there, kind of in their stomping grounds here. So if you need a vehicle or anything, go to cjauto21.com. Of course, always have alwaysraceday.com on the car. They've been great all year. Netcodeshop.com, Netcode Esports, and my teammates at Dizzy Motorsports.
All right, man. Well, a great run. Congratulations on a good finish, and we look forward to seeing you next week back in the big blocks.
Good, Roger. Thank you.
Your third place finisher, Josh Gerlach. We talked about this guy at the start of the broadcast, and I said it might be his night to break through. I know he's been working hard in these sprint cars. He's doing great in the big blocks in this series. Gabe, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, second tonight, and that is a pretty good run, comparatively speaking to some of the sprint car races throughout this season, man. A lot of hard work starting to maybe pay off in this car.
Yeah, starting to get a feel for him here again. Working my way up through there. Heck of a run there by Casey. I don't think I had anything for him tonight.
Well, you battled pretty hard with Josh there, and you had to work because right at the start, you guys all got kind of in a pack, and it looked like it just took you a few extra laps. Maybe once you got around Josh, you cut off about 4/10 on Casey. Just too much battling with Josh to really make a big push on Miller early.
Yeah, that was a good battle there with Josh, and I made a couple mistakes there early and dropped back a few spots, and when you do that, it's tough to get back up there and keep contact with them. So, but it was a lot of fun, fun race.
Well, another great night in the points, and this ought to help you in the overall for sure with all the wins in the big blocks. You got something to maybe seal up a championship in a week or two here?
I'm hoping. I got to check out. I haven't even really looked at the points, but that's certainly shooting for that. So just going to come out next week and do the best we can and see how it falls.
All right, man, I'm sure you got some shout-outs and some thank yous before we let you go celebrate a great run tonight at Williams Grove.
Yeah, thank everybody involved at the league and you for broadcasting. Congrats to Casey and for the win. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and I look forward to seeing what you can do next week back in the big block again.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you.
Your second place runner, Mr. Gabe Gladfelter. And now let's go on to a driver who took over the lead early in this one and really never got challenged. The biggest challenge for him was working lap traffic. Casey Miller, you there, buddy?
Loud and clear.
All right, man. Well, a fantastic run. You're going to pick up the win here tonight. Talk to us a little bit about this run through the feature.
Yeah, I had a really fun battle with Josh there in the early laps, and then once I got in front of him, I just kind of took off. It's great to finish out this 360 season with a win and take home the championship in that car.
Well, this wasn't the last race. You still got at least one more, right?
This is the last 360 race of the season.
Really? Because
and next week is the big block.
I thought there was 3 or 4 more races, so maybe
Nope.
my math is off a little bit. So, all right. Well, awesome. A championship in the 360s. Where does that get you in the overall?
I don't know yet. I have to check that. I just know that I had a pretty
get
good
the
lead.
points to open.
I had a pretty good lead going into this race in the 360s, and I just knew I had to run good. But in the overall, I'm sitting third behind Robbie and Gabe. So this will hopefully catch me up for next week at Eldora.
Well, a win in any of these series is always a boost in the points. And I tried to open up the points to see where we were because I thought we still had 4 or 5 races to go. But apparently my math is off throughout the season. I lose track when we do these big, long seasons like this. But, man, an awesome run tonight. A win way out in front of these guys, about 3 seconds. It looked like Williams Grove kind of suited your style.
Yeah, I have a lot of laps here. This is my home track in real life, so I always took a liking to this track.
Well, I'm sure you got some shout-outs, some thank yous, and, man, we'll let you go celebrate in front of the hometown fans.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Nick and John for putting on this great league. There's always a wide variety of drivers. It suits really any skill level. You know, you can race with anyone here.
All right, man. Well, a great run. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us and look forward to seeing you wrap up the season next season in the big blocks.
Thank you for doing this, man.
Your winner tonight, Casey Miller. I guess I have to apologize. My math is off. I didn't think I'd missed any of these races. I think we had a internet outage or something one night, but I still thought we had about 4 races. So my apologies to the fans and the drivers. I guess we wrap this thing up next week. I will push really hard to have Mr. Cohan get me an open set of the points so that I can run those down before we finish out the season. Your champion in the sprint cars, Casey Miller, wins tonight to close it out, puts a little bit of a victory lap and a stamp on what has been an awesome season. Let's run down our final results from tonight's race. Miller wins it. Gladfelter second. Gerlach in third. Cohan was fourth. Mustard comes home fifth. Chambrone in sixth. Robbie Schaefer 7th. Anthony DeBarro 8th. Thomas George 9th. John Borst was 10th. Anthony Beaver 11th. Bill Coy 12th. And 13th to Adam Jersky. Cannot hardly wait to get these guys back in the big blocks next week and wrap up their season. See who the big block champion is in the overall. And put a stamp on this one. They'll be taking the summer off, from what I understand, to be back in the fall to do another one of these combination week-over-week series. And hopefully we will get the opportunity to cover them again. It has been an absolute pleasure to do so, so I want to thank them very much. I will talk to Mr. Cohan next week to close out the season. But I appreciate all the fans tuning in tonight, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, Dominic Santina back on the call. Dirt Slingers Wednesday Night Warriors, big block series. They're at Kokomo. Tune in, watch that. Say hi to him. For myself and Dominic here at the Dirt Racing Network. Till we see you guys the next time. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep it dirty, everybody.